DraftSociety.com presents a Premier League Draft Fantasy Podcast. Welcome to the Key Pass Collective, your exclusive source for the information, analysis, and advice you need to dominate your fantasy leagues. Come on in. We've been expecting you.
Draft heads, what is going on? Welcome into the KPC. My name's Joe Williams. I'll be your host for this particular episode. Thanks so much for joining us here after Draft Miss, but before the new year. Hope everyone's holidays were fantastic, and hope that Draft Miss brought you much victory and much joy. The most important holiday of all, Draft Miss, of course. If you did not get to celebrate our Draft Miss with us, go back to the last episode. We were quite festive, quite merry, and partake in Draft Miss. But if not, that's okay. Today we're going to look forward, and we're going to have a good time looking forward to January and all of the transfers, or lack thereof, maybe. Spoiler alert, that might be coming in the January transfer window. So welcome in. Just some reminders quick before we kind of kick things off. The Key Pass Collective, of course, the audio companion to the Draft Society website. Of course, is the audio companion. The Key Pass Collective is the audio companion to the Draft Society website. It is going to be your one-stop shop for everything draft related. So it's basically, we've got everything you need in order to dominate the draft fantasy football game. Check it out. That is where you need to go for your consensus rankings, for your waiver wire articles every single week, your sleepers 11, draft statistics that are not found literally anywhere else, that we kind of, literally in-house, we keep them up all season and do all the maths and everything for you. So come and check that out. Those are all completely free on our site. If you're willing to support an independent fantasy football website, which we love and appreciate, those of you who already do, you're going to get a lot more. Rest of season player rankings every single week. You're going to get player points projections every single week, consensus rankings every international break that are sortable, top 150. You're going to get extra articles like Ryan's Ghost Point Hunter article, fixture difficulty tracker, which is built into our fantasy toolkit. There's just a ton of stuff. And then also, of course, there are ways for you to contact us without anyone in your league knowing, via confidential email if you have any queries about trade advice. So we think it's definitely worth it. And if you're willing to sign up for the season pass, you'll actually get the fantasy toolkit as well, which is going to give you bespoke advice, literally specific to your league. Who, according to our calculations, according to our projections, according to the weekly projections, the rankings, all these things, who should you pick up? Who should you trade? What trade value do each of your players have? What is your entire roster value versus the rest of the roster values in your league? Fixture difficulty tracker, like I mentioned, it's incredible. It's honestly amazing. It's our crown jewel. And if you sign up for the season pass, you'll get that. And right now, there is a sale actually going on for the season pass. So if you're interested, if you've always thought about supporting us and just kind of thought maybe some other time, now would be an awesome time. You can get it for $30 for the rest of the entire season. And that will include that draft toolkit that I was just mentioning. So it'd be an amazing way to support us, amazing way to kind of show your love for the draft community and let us keep doing what we're doing, hopefully for years to come. Let's say hey to everybody who is in chat. Welcome, guys. How is everybody? Tom, what's going on, man? We will talk about João Pedro in just a second. Pubs with Ab, what's going on? Ben Chickens, how are you? Simon, hey man, how's it going? We haven't seen you on the live show. So happy you're here. Draft Espresso back as usual. All the heavy hitters, all the names we know and love. You guys are amazing. Thanks for the support. If anybody else has ever thought about joining us, we usually do this Wednesdays or Thursdays. This week it was on Thursday, but usually it's Wednesdays. Join us on the live stream. It's about 5-ish, 5:30 Eastern time normally. Otherwise, it'll always be a podcast as well if you want to join later. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in my cohorts for this particular episode, Toddy and Sanji from Banta Boys, and of course from the Draft Society as well. But the Banta Boys podcast, if you don't listen to that, definitely do so. Gentlemen, how did? Well, I guess we should catch up on Draft Miss. How did your Boxing Day go? And then how was this week for you all? Go ahead, brag. Go ahead and brag.
I'll listen to Sanji first.
Well, what do you got, Sanji? It's not going to be as exciting, clearly, but
can't hear you, man.
Man, that was anticlimactic.
Hello, can you hear me now?
There he is.
Yeah, so I think I had the complete opposite weekend to Totti. I'm pretty sure I lost in all my leagues, but the most important thing is the team that I support got the win. So I'm okay. Good Christmas. Good Christmas.
It
nice.
happens much less frequently than you getting wins in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to get a Chelsea win, it might as well happen during Christmas, right? Because they are rare. So yeah, perfect gift, I think.
The miracle.
Yeah, love it. How'd your weekend go, Totti?
Yeah, how did your weekend go?
I heard you had another title and another one and another one.
Another one. Yeah.
DJ Khaled over here.
I mean, thanks for asking. That feels nice. I tried to be as civil about it as I possibly could. I actually did the three-peat in the Boxing Day Perfect 11. I don't know if you've heard this, if you've seen this. honestly, I said this before. I'm not a good Perfect 11 player. I'm just not. I usually finish like with the final day one. I usually finish like mid-table. I always fall away in the full season one. Somehow this Boxing Day thing has my number. So,
yeah.
But I'm actually, and I don't want to sound disingenuous, but I'm actually more happy that we had 77 active teams enter in the Boxing Day Perfect 11. And it's not just because there was a shit ton of money to win.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we have got the community buzzing about a little project that we did, and it was fun. It was fun. Went down to the wire, last kicks of the game. Fantrax Flukes actually got the second spot on stats corrections for Garnacho. He started the United game around 10th-ish, so it was fun as well. But yeah, somehow I keep winning that damn thing.
That's awesome.
Definitely not rigged, right?
No, not rigged at all. No.
I'm not a time traveler.
This is where I promised Tom that we would mention Joao Pedro, because I knew you would mention Fantrax Flukes. And it just so happened that I faced him in the IGL Cup this week. I'll name just a couple of players that he had on his team this weekend: Pascal Gross, Dwight McNeil, James Ward-Prowse, Danny Welbeck, Joao Pedro. Safe to say, I did not prevail with a victory this weekend in the IGL Cup. It's all right. Some ridiculous scores this game week. I mean, just and from a lot of unexpected places, I would say. Were you guys thrown under the bus by these, or did you benefit from them?
My bus was driven by them.
So who did you have? Joao Pedro?
My home league, I had Wood and Joao Pedro.
Oh wow.
Like a cool 80 from two
Chris
players.
Wood.
With complemented by 40-ish from Gomez and TAA.
Oh
So I ended up with 170 points.
Unbelievable.
Community League, I didn't have Wood. I didn't have Isaac. And I still ended up with 156.
Jesus.
I actually had returns from 9 players.
That's
out of the
incredible.
11. So, yeah, it was a good week for me.
Mm.
I beat Prashant, famous fellow Chelsea fan, who amassed 127 points to lose. That is gut-wrenching.
What a rough. I know he'll listen to this too. Sorry about that, Prash. That's a rough one. Wow. Brutal. Sanji? Oh, you're muted again, friend. There we are.
It's like I'm filling in for Ryan or something. Yeah, I think it was just one of those opposite weeks again for me. It was not a good fantasy week. But I faced like a lot of the goal scorers and assisters and stuff. It was spread like the 4-1 Wolves win came up against like Totti getting an assist this week. I thought was random as hell. We saw the likes of Olise playing his best football, like looking like a first round, second round pick at the moment.
He's a beaut.
The club World Cup club champions, is that right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
World Club. Club World Cup. Club
World Cup. Okay.
There it is.
What are the champions called? The Club World Cup champions, or the Club World champions, or the Club champions of the world?
Let's have it, chat. What's the best way to say it? Club World Cup champions is that's my go-to, but I'm happy to be disagreed with.
Yeah. But
the important thing is that nobody cares about that.
I mean, do you not care because it's not your team? Because I'm sure like Chickens in chat definitely cares about it to some extent.
I doubt Chickens. Chickens.
Did you care when we won it?
I did not, honestly.
Damn.
I cared that we won it so that there was a tick behind it.
Sure.
I wasn't like, I didn't watch the game. I wasn't like buzzing after, like when we won the any other thing. Even the League Cup.
Even the Carabao.
Yeah.
Totti, your boy is back in form. Jack Grealish. No attacking returns, near 12.5 points. How are you feeling about him now, man? Are you trying to get him in your leagues now?
I have him in one league where I traded out Ward-Prowse to get him a few weeks ago.
Oh wow!
And I'm excited by that prospect rest of the season as well. Although Ward-Prowse hasn't taken a step back at all. Like, he had a few off-ish games, but even those, he had like 7-8 points. I feel.
Yeah, but still single digits for a few weeks before this one.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him in, but I doubt I can get him in now. Like, I wouldn't overpay. I still think that this is somewhat of a Mahrez-like mirage that will shine bright and then extinguish with a flicker.
Purple patch. Yeah. Makes sense.
Unless there's an issue with Doku, I just feel that it's going to be a timeshare that is not worth investing too much in. Like, if I could get Doku for cheaper, I'd rather get the less fancied part of that timeshare.
I like it.
2 cents.
All right. Well, we're here for a reason today, boys. We're going to talk transfers. So we're going to jump into kind of our January transfer preview. And of course, this being the program that it is, we'll of course kind of discuss the fantasy implications that brings along with it. But generally, we're going to talk, most of kind of the big teams and some of the smaller ones that are going to be doing business this January. And we'll kind of talk about what effect that might have on the rest of the squad and what that might have on the rest of the league and all those things. So we'll get stuck into that in just a second. We'll end it with waivers and stashes, your picks for this week. And then, of course, in chat, if you guys have any questions as we go along or any comments, go ahead and comment those and we'll flash those on the screen and get to them if we can. So, yeah, we got a lot to get to, guys. I've been spending most of the day today walking the dog and listening to various different transfer podcasts. So I have some knowledge to share, but certainly not as much as maybe most people. But let's just see what we can do. Our powers combined, Captain Planet type of thing. And we'll go ahead and see if we can weigh in on this transfer window and what we've got coming up. So let's start with your team, Sanji, Chelsea. So from what I understand, they are looking to bring in a striker, and it may or may not happen in January. They are still kind of like looking to see what they have in Nico. He's going to be gone for AFCON. So it does open up an interesting window into them, needing to have some cover in that area. So, of course, names like Tony and Osimhen have been floated about. Vlahovic as well, but I've heard that he is likely to stay until summer at the very least now. So what are your thoughts or what have you heard on this particular talking point?
To be honest, I really don't look into like transfer rumors and all that sort of stuff. I try not to stress about it because I just look at it once the club has actually signed a player. I don't think there's much sense in like discussing what ifs, this and that. I know for sure, like Pochettino has mentioned in the pressers before that he wants to bring some new blood into the club and bring some changes. I mean, we could see some outs. For example, like I know for podcast listeners that can't see the slide, but you've got like Gallagher's name mentioned here. So yeah, I think we'll see a couple surprise outs. Wouldn't surprise me to see maybe we get a fullback, maybe a versatile fullback that can play both sides because of the James surgery. I know Chilwell is rumored to be coming back soon, but I wouldn't be pinning my hopes there. So maybe there might be a defensive player you can bank on. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we do get a striker. Maybe a striker of a similar mold to Jackson in the sense what he offers the team, but with a better finish. Because, I mean, he's getting the chances. It's just that he's not scoring them. So that's probably one thing I'm sure Poch will want to address, and maybe fantasy managers can save their fab or their high waiver priority order for.
Yeah, no, that checks out. I can tell you from what I've heard of both of these players, Tony and Osimhen, you're talking 100+ million at the least. Osimhen is going to be more like 130, 140 from what I understand that they're looking for. And that's one of those. I just don't know if that's on the table this January, but maybe. I mean, Chelsea have been splashing the cash, so there are some FFP concerns, which you're going to see kind of be a theme this January with a lot of teams. So yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts on Chelsea? Obviously, we, as you kind of alluded to, Sanji, they've been shopping, or they've said that they're willing to deal Gallagher, which honestly I was flabbergasted by because he's been one of your absolute best players this season.
I think that ties in well with the FFP thing, though. Like we've read enough and heard enough about this, how the FFP works, that if you sell a homegrown player, then you get 100% profit towards your FFP budget, and then you buy 130 million Ivan Toney or whatever, and then make him sign a lifelong contract.
Sure.
Lifelong. I mean, have you seen? I'm talking to the two Americans, and they're very knowledgeable.
Trinidadian. How do you what's the nomenclature?
Yeah, Trinidadian.
There it is.
Trinidadian.
Beautiful.
But have you seen the baseball contracts that the two Japanese guys signed? The first one was,
I think Ryan's more of a baseball guy than I am.
Tell us,
I'm
Ryan.
not. I hate baseball.
Oh, okay, same.
So equally as But I mean, I hate baseball as well. But that sort of came over the threshold of baseball hatred. It's like
Same owners,
Yeah.
the Dodgers. So that's why you get the 12-year amortization with Ohtani.
yeah, but like he's collecting only $2 million a year for the first 10 years of his contract, and then getting like 800 million after 10 years or something like that. Is that right?
It's
Something like that.
ludicrous. Yeah.
It's very backloaded.
That is.
It's smart. He won't waste it. Won't invest it or get interest on the next 12 years, but still.
I mean, at that point, when you're getting $800 million
Yeah.
in 10 years, you just go into the shop and tell them, I'll spot you in 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
The January thing, I mean, when's the last time we saw any transaction over like 50 in January? Like this big money, really big money signings just don't.
I mean, Mudryk was one.
Again.
Okay, when a non-Chelsea transaction, you mean?
Yeah, basically.
Was Bruno over 50?
No.
Was he not?
40, I think.
Oh, what
Yeah,
a bargain.
It was very cheap. I'm just saying these like really marquee big money signings, they almost never happen in January. So I don't see either of these happening. Tony maybe, just because I think he'll end up being around like 80.
Yeah, I think he would have gone in the summer had he not gotten the ban.
Yeah.
For around 80, and he could. And I imagine Brentford didn't want to sell him for like 60 with the ban, so that they're holding out for 80-ish in January. Or I'd expect them that they want to keep him. I think it's going to be something like the Caicedo thing, that everyone's going to be offering ridiculous amounts, and then they end up trying to keep him at all costs and then sell him for even more ridiculous amounts at the end of the season. Like, who would have thought that rejecting 70 million, was it, for Caicedo from Arsenal in January last season, was gonna come, and Brighton were gonna come out winners from that?
Crazy.
They almost got twice as much. That's stupid.
I have your answer quickly here, Ryan. So it goes Coutinho, Enzo Fernandez, Virgil van Dijk,
Coutinho to Villa,
to Barcelona,
to Barca.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
incoming. So
yeah. So it'd be Enzo, Virgil, Mudryk. Let's see, Pulisic.
Oh yeah, but they loaned him. They loaned him back.
Yeah, they loaned him back.
And then Laporte, it looks like.
Yeah. So
anyway, no one to really write home about.
Aubameyang's
in there.
Bruno.
Yep. Bruno's in there. Ferran Torres.
What the thing that is common in almost all of them is that they never work out.
Yeah, and aside from Bruno, right? They didn't massively affect the fantasy landscape for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Bruno and
Diaz.
And Aubameyang and Diaz as well.
Yeah.
Diaz
So we'll keep an eye out for any of those. I think either of these strikers would be that. They would absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But
mostly like intra EPL stuff in January. That's
those are the
probably
ones.
Talk about that.
And that's the thing. I would love to see Gallagher on a different team where he could have a little bit more freedom and just be more creative. But he's already going to be rostered in every one of your leagues. So it's almost not really worth spending a bunch of time on talking about him. Other Chelsea names, Sanji potentially outgoing. I heard the likes of potentially Broya, even Chalobah, I heard talked about as well.
Who's that? Trevor?
Yeah, Trevo.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think again defensively, like we've got a plethora of centre backs. We're not playing a back three, so we're probably gonna get some sort of a fullback cover or defender or whatever. Again, don't bank on Chile, don't bank on James. Yeah. We need to clean house a bit. Like even with Gallagher leaving, I know like yes, he's been fantastic on all that, but Romeo Lavia, I think, got his first few minutes this game week as well. We saw him on the pitch. I don't think it was anything to like scream about, whatever, or write home about. But
yeah.
I mean, it's not like depth is an issue. I think a bit of more outgoings than ingoings might be better for the club. But again, with all these FFP rules and all that, yeah, there could be some surprise transfers out. But I mean, that's always been the case with Chelsea, right? They have a shitload of talent that they don't properly utilize, and some other club will thrive from it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Ryan, from one side of London to the other, let's go with Arsenal. So, big money striker incoming?
I mean, after what I just witnessed, I hope so. Jesus. Yeah, normally I'd say no, because again, the normal way of things is that these big money signings don't happen in January. They happen in the summer. However, lacking that one final piece for a title charge is something that can put a deal like this over the top, and there's no doubt about it. You need a proper number 9/finisher. So if we wanted to go all in on Tony, then Eddie would have to leave, and I don't think we'd have any shortage of suitors from mid-table clubs. So I think one would go with the other, and performances like what we just witnessed might push the front office to finance a deal like that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think they would have learned from their short-staffedness last season. Their shallowness.
We got Jorginho.
Depth. Yeah, well, yeah, but I've heard he's potentially leaving for, where was it? I can't remember. I saw the story earlier today. Somewhere in Italy.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, there's headlines about him, but I didn't really care enough to put it on the slide.
Nor should you.
Yeah. But I mean, again, Tony's one of those that's going to be rostered everywhere. If he makes the move, do you see him slotting right in, or is it a betting in process?
If he wasn't on the couch for the last 5-6 months, I'd say he'd probably go in. But yeah, I think because of that, it'll be a betting in process, plus the system and all of that. So I still would assume that it would be Jesus up top, but slowly but surely Tony probably getting in.
Yeah, fair enough. And you mentioned Nketiah. Let's talk about him quick. So do you see any landing spots for him that would be juicy?
I think there's a plethora of clubs that need or would be in the market for somebody like him. Palace is always in the market. West Ham would really benefit from being able to put Bowen back on the wing and have an actual striker to ping in balls to. So those would be the two that jump out. Even a club like Wolves. Yeah, there's a fair amount, I would say.
Or going back the other way to Brentford.
Yeah, that's true.
That actually, yeah, I could see that.
That would, yeah. I mean, the big thing that would be keeping Brentford from getting rid of him, obviously, is like Mbomo's out. They're technically in a relegation battle at this point. So yeah, if the only way they'd be persuaded to give up Tony would be to get something in return. And I mean, he has his faults, but he's technically a Premier League proven striker in Nketiah. So it would make a lot of sense to do Nketiah plus 40 or 50 to grease that transaction. So we'll see.
Such a great segue, as viewers can see on the screen. We're talking Brentford next. So the really only thing to talk about here is not really transfers in, unless it would be Nketiah, but otherwise it's more about Toney leaving. And all this to say that from what I've heard from most people, the Sky Sports, what's his name on there? Darmisheth. He is pretty convinced that that Toney stays until the summer. But that being said, if he's to leave, we've seen now half a season of Toney-less Brentford, and now we have Mbomo out for months. So are we pretty concerned about them just generally and their attacking output?
I think we are, and I think they did well without Toney. They without the Mbomo injury, I think they would be more comfortable going into January, trying to get the best deal for Toney, and then going forward without him. But yeah, as you guys said, the next 6 to 8 games with this that they have available right now, even if Sade is back soon, hopefully. It's still too little. So they need to do something about that.
A random aside, is it time to pick him up? Are you ready to pick him up yet, or are you still waiting? Sade, that is.
I haven't seen him in training. I haven't seen him on the bench. No.
All right. It's been a weird week for me. I'm not doing super well in my league, so I'm in that really weird territory of, are you gonna start trying to stash these guys that are coming back from injury? And that's always a slippery slope, as you know, because there's some that won't come right back in, some that will be training on grass for like 2 months. So yeah, it's just one of those. I'm sure we'll cover that in future episodes. Nice. All right, moving on. Tottenham. So Spurs are looking for a center back. That is their absolute main priority. Pochettino has said as much. So that is coming in one way or another. That's almost a guarantee at this point. I don't know that there's a ton to talk about fantasy-wise there. They do okay, their center backs, depending on who it is. But
didn't do okay tonight, though.
Right. Oh, Pasta. Thank you, Draft Espresso.
I heard it too. Freud was right.
Living in the past. Yeah, I know. If only. No, but Postecoglou is so charming, Ryan. How would I want? Why would I want anybody else to be in that role at the moment? He's so charming. He's so funny.
Mate,
he says, "Mate."
I get it, mate. I get it.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, Chelsea fans. All right. So, what do we think about center back?
I don't wanna any part of it in fantasy, but it will definitely make them not play Emerson Royale at center back, so it should help them.
Okay. Yeah, let's be honest, there's just not a ton to say about this. Like, I don't know where we're supposed to go with this.
If Gallagher goes there, then I want me a piece of that. But
absolutely.
But I doubt that they let him go to Spurs. But then again, Todd's gonna Todd.
Let's entertain that for a second. So apparently they're up to about 35 in what they're willing to spend on Gallagher, or so they've said, to sources, quote unquote. And according to Chelsea, they're going to want 45 or 50 for Gallagher, somewhere in there between 40 and 50. And so there's obviously still a gap there. But were Gallagher to go to Tottenham, are you worried about him cannibalizing any of Maddison's points?
Not really. He's
not going
to be on sets. I think he'll play that Papisar or Basuma role, so he'll be active, and I think he'll be able to get points. But I don't think it would take away from Maddison per se.
Yeah, and he would play. Yeah, he has already shown at Chelsea at times that he could play further back and still be effective. So he'd just be a DM-ish kind of scorer that is that slightly above in scoring and in potential upside that you want him to just carry the load on your fantasy team.
Yeah. And we all know enough at this point to not get excited, at least fantasy-wise, about any Calvin Phillips rumors.
No.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, moving along. Let's talk Man City. So, again, they're likely to deal Calvin Phillips. They've talked about that. They are actually willing to loan him, which would solve some FFP issues for some clubs that maybe we'll mention another one later. But that's really about it for them. They've looked at Claudio Echeverri, who is an attacking mid from River Plate. This is a 17-year-old kid, and they're super excited about him, but he's going to get loaned out, I think, immediately. So not one to get excited about, at least now. But other than that, I've heard nothing in terms of incomings for Manchester City. So I don't really have a whole lot there. Anybody hear anything else?
No, I haven't heard anything, but they're always good for a surprise.
Yeah, that is true.
But I doubt they spend big.
All right. Okay, Toddy, I'm going to bring this one back to you. Let's talk Liverpool. So everybody's afraid of Salah going to Saudi Arabia. From what I've heard, most of the Saudi Arabian clubs have sort of hit like their spending cap for the season. I didn't know they had one, but apparently it actually exists. So Sky News is reporting, Sky News is reporting almost no chance of him going in January. Is there any like part in the back of your brain that's nervous about it?
Honestly, with this surprising position that they're in, I don't think there would be any amount of money that.
What is a surprising position?
First.
Oh, okay. You just mean in terms of like
I didn't think anyone at Liverpool expected them to challenge for the title with a fully revamped midfield this season. I think they were aiming for a top 4 challenge, kind of embracing not getting there, but I wouldn't even confidently say that this is a title challenge yet, but with all of the other teams around them not overly convincing, it might just be a title challenge when it comes to March. I mean, Liverpool traditionally are horrendous in January. Proper horrendous. So if they are in and around the top 2 mid-February, I would say, or end of February, I would say that this is a title challenge. But saying that, letting Salah leave would be he still has a year to go. They would probably be able to get the same amount of money in the summer if it was offered,
especially from Saudi, right?
Exactly. He's bound to end up there. So yeah, I would bet a lot of money on Salah staying. Otherwise, I I think they're in a good position in a sense, similarly to the Luis Diaz deal, that they will have their summer targets and they can pounce if they feel that there is some movement, but they won't do any business that they don't need to do, and I don't think they need to do any business, honestly. Like I think this left back situation is a bit concerning, but the fact that Kwanzaa has really stepped up in CB, they don't need Gomez to deputize there that much, and they can manage Konate's minutes, meaning that they're set for left back until Robertson comes back and plays the rest of the games.
So you're pouring cold water on this report that I read today about Anthony Robinson potentially coming to Liverpool, which I was ecstatic about.
I would question the source there, but yeah, I'm pouring a lot of cold water on that.
I would love that. Let's get an American on this team, man. Anyway, yeah, I agree.
Was Brad Friedel the last American on Liverpool?
Yeah. Yes.
The last American on Liverpool.
Yes.
He was on Liverpool? I just remember him from Villa.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
But yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So Toddy, does that mean that you don't think? Because there have been some murmurings about still looking for a defensive mid. In that Endo hasn't really panned out in the way they'd hoped, and so they're kind of looking.
He's been really good last two games.
Last couple of games, I agree, but it took.
And he's going away for the Asia Cup as well, so I could see it happening, but I don't think they will jump the gun. Like I think they would rather do business in the summer.
Yeah,
if they can advance their business and get into a position where they can kind of have deals done, set up, so that they can announce them and get people in the door first day of the summer, then that would be good. But other than that, I don't think they're going to do any business.
Cool. Yeah, makes sense. Yes, he would. Thank you, Ben Chickens in chat. Says Anthony would be a great fit. He absolutely would. I can't agree more. All right, this next one, we're going to talk Brighton quickly, only because there's chatter around Ferguson. You guys talked last pod about him being, was it you, Toddy, who said the next $100 million?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah. But that's, from everything I've read, that's unlikely in January. Have you heard anything else around? With all their injury woes and everything, anything else around Brighton targets or them looking to bolster in any parts of the pitch?
I've read that they're looking for, or they've seen trying to sign a left back from Argentina, was it? But I'm not sure. I don't think, like, if we know the players Brighton are signing, they're doing their job not well. I think more likely is that they will think about recalling someone like Sarmiento from West Brom or some other loanee that they have out who is actually playing football, because that would have them sort of, the reintegration into the Brighton system would be much less of a pain than a new signing coming in. So I think anyone they sign will not be fantasy relevant or playing that much. I don't think they'll sign first team players.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought too.
Anything else? Said, Buonanotte and Igor came off injured today as well.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh no! I had turned the Arsenal game on by that point. Wow.
So I have no idea if they have 11 fit first team players at this point, and Lewis Dunk is suspended for the West Ham game.
Well, we're doing really well on time. Let's take a second to talk about Brighton, just in terms of fantasy assets, because obviously we've seen a lot of rotation. Joao Pedro finally had what you could call a breakout match, one in which he started and he finished as well, or at least got close. And you've got Welbeck, you have Milner chipping in with an assist. You've got just like these attacking returns are coming from everywhere, and not always the places that you'd expect. So, as fantasy managers, how are we proceeding with Brighton assets here? I feel like we talk about this every week, but it changes every week.
First question is, are we dropping any one of the injured players?
Okay, let's start there.
I've gone back and forth on Adingra. I haven't brought myself to do it yet. Just because he's been so good and so nailed on, but it's a long time, 4 to 5 weeks, and then need to bet him back in. I know there's not that many games in January, but it just seems like a long time.
Yeah, agreed. I think Mitoma is an obvious keep, but Adingra is teetering.
And Cisso's got to be back soon, right?
I think he suffered a setback, and it's going to be after January.
Yeah, after the break at this point. Yeah. So I was looking at him as well. He was one of those where I'm like, ooh, should I really? And then it just, no. Yeah, as far as just listen to this list. Like as far as on Fantrax, how they have the torn flag, and it always breaks your heart to see the torn flag. You've got Mitoma, Adingra, Enciso, March, Ansu Fati, Joel Veltman, Tariq Lamptey, Adam Webster, all with torn flags. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
It's an insane list, and that's not to mention Igor or Buonanotte, who haven't been updated yet.
That's unreal. But yeah, then again, if so, the only thing that makes me want to definitely keep Adingra is that even if most or some of these guys come back and they crash out of Europe in February, then
I hope they do.
I hope they do as well. And then that end of the season, you want a piece of that. And I think Adingra is a good piece to have. I mean, he was one of the bright spots in the schedule so far. So
yeah,
I will. I think I'll keep him. I think I'll back myself to make do with a shorter bench in the upcoming 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same.
I mean, so if Buonanotte is okay, it looks like he's at least got a spot, or at least I don't even know with this team anymore. But it looks as though he'll be starting more matches than we had originally thought he would. And so I still view him as a streamer. I don't know if this has changed for you guys.
What did he get today? 3? I mean,
he doesn't play enough minutes, though. That's the concern.
Yeah, even when he starts, he's off at 50 or 60.
Yeah.
I'll throw you this. Would you rather Buonanotte or Hinshelwood?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say if he really is injured, then they'd have to probably put Hinshelwood in that right wing spot.
This is the first time that Hinshelwood's. Oh no, I take it back. He went 85 on September 30th, and then this is the first time he's gone more than 74. Aside from that, back in September 30th.
That checks out.
I don't know, man.
At this point, there aren't many people that you can sub him out for. That is to say, if he's not injured.
But with all these good Brighton assets being out and stuff like that, do we just assume that whoever he replaces with, they still maintain a similar tackling level, or at what point do we just say, okay, maybe we just avoid them, wait until the good assets are back, and then consider who we can stream from that team again?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's smart. move. The only thing that will get me back on side with Brighton is the fact that they play West Ham, Wolves, Luton, Palace, Spurs, Sheffield United, Everton, Fulham, Nottingham Forest. That gets them to March. That is their schedule until March. I would want an attacking asset against all of those teams, essentially. That's the issue.
Beautiful.
That's like if it was even just slightly worse, then I would probably be okay dropping Buonanotte. But that schedule, man, that is tasty.
Ryan, I ask you this only because you have the article that people should check out about AFCON and the Asian Cup, about everybody in the entire Premier League who's going to be missing time and who might slot in and benefit because of that. Mitoma now set to miss the next 4 weeks. Is there any chance he just doesn't go to the Asian Cup?
Yeah, I don't think he will. I don't think he or Adingra will. It doesn't make any sense for them to go because they're not going to be fit enough in time.
Was it Mane who went to the AFCON and ended up not playing a minute last time around? Or it was someone.
I do remember that.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was Mane who they brought and then hoped.
Yeah, it might be ready by the semis or something.
Yeah. Might be ready and then wasn't ready and then wasn't ready for the final, or maybe was ready. It was a whole thing. So, yeah, I'd rather he not go, honestly.
Yeah, same. Hi. All right. Oh, Simon is saying Mane scored the winning penalty in the final. No,
this was a previous one, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't this one. Wasn't this one?
Fair enough. I love it.
Remember. Maybe it wasn't Mane. It was someone like a big name. Maybe it was Aubameyang or something like that. I don't remember. But
wait, who had gotten injured and gone? Is that?
Yeah. That was.
Oh, it was Ismail Assar, right, at Watford. He had an ongoing knee issue or something like that.
But didn't he refuse and stay? Didn't he refuse to go and stay back?
And then he ended up going. I think
he played a bit in the tournament. I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't remember that. Because I remember I had him that year, and I was really excited. The news came out that he was going to stay back, and I was like, yes.
It wasn't it Dennis who rejected the call up. Emmanuel Dennis.
Oh, am I mixing up Watford assets?
Involved in some drama, but he always is.
Denny boy,
Anyways.
Love it.
Menace.
Love it. the absolute.
Is he on loan somewhere, or is he just riding with the kids at the Forest?
Dennis the Menace? Yeah, let's look him up. I think he might just be with the U21s. Let's see.
He's in Turkey, isn't he?
Başakşehir?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he left.
On loan. Yeah. Good for him. He's in Istanbul on loan. That a baby. Nice. I wonder how he's doing. We don't have that kind of time. Anyway, all right. Let's move along to a team that's giving me flashbacks to when England took it. Yes. Classic, Tom. Nice. I like it. All right, let's move on to a team that has quite a few talking points around it at the moment, but is maybe set to have a transfer window that is a little more boring than people are expecting. Manchester United. So we have Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in, who is taking over a 25% share of the team. Has promised to revamp the stadium. They're really excited about this, and he is going to be obviously contributing money toward transfers, which obviously is getting not only just Manchester United fans, but also fantasy managers pretty excited. I have heard that most of those moves will come in the summer. They're looking for a striker. Højlund, say what you will about his goal this weekend, is not it. and they're also looking for defenders. But as far as actual transfers in this January, I've not heard much in terms of United. Have you guys?
No, but they are one that are good for a surprise signing, I think.
Yeah, that's one to keep your eye on. But I mean, would anybody? I don't know that anybody would walk into that 11. I'm saying it like the 11 is solidified, or that you have any fucking clue who's going to play week in and week out for them. But
I think they need a CB more than anything, and a defensive midfielder, which they have needed since I don't know
ever.
Michael
I don't know.
Carrick,
They have a CB who's been there for seemingly the last 20 years, holding it down. I don't know why they would need to move on from
longevity. That's the name of the game.
The headlines actually could be around outgoings for Man United. So Jadon Sancho has got a number of suitors in Germany. Mason Greenwood, actually, Getafe is saying that they might want to break their transfer record to bring him in for like 40. And then potentially Anthony Martial could all be moving on. And talk about just money from just nowhere. Like, imagine all of those transfer fees just from players who don't even play football at the moment. Like, how does Man United do this?
I mean, I doubt that they're getting transfer fees for any of those, but yeah. If they are, then it's going to be even better than Chelsea selling Koulibaly.
Chelsea sending everyone to Saudi. Yeah, that's fair. I don't think either of those or any of those three, are Premier League bound. So again, that doesn't really excite you about their landing spots either. So I think we can probably just move on at this point. All right,
picked up Greenwood in one of my leagues.
Oh Lord. I mean,
just gonna leave that there.
Yep. No comment.
No. West Ham. You guys mentioned West Ham earlier. They are potentially bringing in a striker, and that could be interesting. I saw a number of news stories that they're looking at Sasha Kalajic, which is very interesting, or even Timo Werner to bring in to bolster their front line. Because, like you guys already mentioned,
they clearly don't need goals just to play.
Need a warm body.
I know, like they already have Antonio, right? And if they don't want goals, that's your man.
I mean, Werner, he's started 2 games this season, scoring 2 goals, which is not very good. He scored 9 goals in 23 starts last season. So just general Timo Werner numbers. But that said, I think if they're not, like, he kind of fits the role that they want their forward to play, like a transitional sort of, can play on the wing as well, rotate mid-game with all those attacking assets. So I think I could see Werner working out there. I don't understand Kalajic. It's such a different type of player, and a worse one as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't seen enough of him to know what type of player he truly is. Like,
I mean, he's 6'7", so you can guess.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, kind of send a ball in over the top and see if he can come down with it, type of thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe what they wanted Skamaka to be.
Yeah. I was just about to say
they never gave him a proper run out. Like, that's what I don't understand.
And that's where this sort of segment should end with West Ham. Like anyone they sign,
shut it down.
Do we really think that he starts more than 5 games rest of the season?
Okay, yeah, or does he do jack shit? Because like, look at what their strikers have done. If they're not named Jared Bowen, like they just do nothing. They do nothing.
He does well, will you be able to hold him? Like people were almost dropping Kudus, and people definitely dropping Ben Rama 2 seasons ago, and
yeah,
it's just like it kind of works. So like the results are coming, so I can't knock Moyes for doing it, but he's just so slow getting these players on board.
Yeah, it really is.
So I doubt anyone who comes in at West Ham is fantasy relevant for that reason.
Yeah, and Kudus was a
Eddie.
Yeah, there you go. Eddie would be Eddie could be fun there. But we all know Eddie doesn't ghost, and it's the same thing with Antonio. You're gonna have boomer bust weeks. But yeah, I was gonna mention Kudus was a ghost today. Played 90 in a 2-0 win, and I hardly saw him on the pitch.
They had the ball like 8% possession. It was
true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah. I love your comparison to Stoke. I love that. Love that.
It was exactly that. Tony Pulis at his
smash
best.
And grab.
I mean, you could have said Mourinho, Chelsea as well, but
yeah,
on the nose.
Yep.
Would have.
Stubborn. I was going to mention Ben Rama actually, Toddy. There's potential that he goes somewhere, and I would absolutely.
Yeah, but he's leaving for AFCON, isn't he?
Oh, that's right.
So, I was looking at him as well, but you're not going to hold a player who might go somewhere where he might play.
That's a good point. But okay, so if he comes back from AFCON and he's secured a transfer in the time that he's been gone.
If he goes back to Brentford.
Okay. I like that.
That'd be tasty, yeah.
Get the Mopai Ben Rama team back together.
2019
Oh, God.
style.
Wait, okay, Mopai Ben Rama. Who else could who else could they add? Well, not Watkins. I mean, I want somebody who's like near washed up. Like somebody who's like almost at this point rinsed, and they just like
they come back into the fold. I think they can get Lallana from Brighton.
Lallana's a good call. Willian.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. Okay, all right, good. We did it. Okay.
Move on,
perfect.
Move on. Before we ruin it.
All right, so Newcastle, looking at midfielders, potential of Calvin Phillips being discussed there. I saw something about a £7 million pound loan fee, which seems to me a lot, but Manchester City want a lot. So we'll see if that takes shape. I don't know. It seems like a long shot to me, but who knows? Regardless, Robbie said that if that did happen, he would be pretty excited about Bruno G. In every league.
I don't see the linkage.
The allure.
Much. Yeah, I mean, maybe he gets forward a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's the assumption.
I mean, I know that's the narrative, but like,
I think if I went up to or DM'd anyone in my leagues who had Bruno G, if they were willing to sell, then they would be scouring the internet to find if he's swapped positions to forward or something like that, because he's just not the kind of asset that you trade for, is he?
Yeah. No, not at all. Not at all.
Just barely hovering above droppable, but still a bit better. So you're not going to drop him, but you just run him out in the hope that he plays well and gets you like a random goal or whatever, and gets you like 8 points.
Yeah,
it's just I hate those.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, well, let me put a bow on this this segment. And meanwhile, listeners, if you have any questions, this is a rare time when we are actually not going to go over our time by like an hour and a half. So if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. We do have a couple seconds we can get to them. So do that while I am putting a bow on this segment. So from everything that I've heard, from everything that I've read, most pundits are expecting this to kind of be a pretty underwhelming transfer window. So that being said, for everybody who's holding fab, for everybody who still has 100 fab, or if you've built up a fab war chest or something like that, if there's an asset that comes in that you're not quite sure about, that, you know, you're pretty sure they're going to get game time, or they, you know, they may or may not, you're probably going to want to spend, because I don't know that this is going to be one where we're going to get a lot more. This would be a perfect one where if someone does come in the league who has kind of a sexier name, and you could trade out a whole load of fab to get in a player who actually plays, that's the play, I think, for this January. Lower table clubs, as you can kind of see on the screen, lower table clubs, a lot of them have basically reported that they're not really looking to do business at all in January, unless something falls in their lap, because we're in an awkward situation where the teams at the bottom of the table are so bad that mid-table clubs are not concerned about staying up. And so they're just not going to spend in January, which is crazy. But that's kind of where we're at. So yeah, we can move on from transfers unless you guys have anything else. Good to go. All right, nice. I am choppy. Let's go. Hold on 1 second. Just sorry. Okay. There we go. Okay, your question's answered. Here we go. So I had already answered this for Magnus, but way back in the chat, he had said, okay. Sorry for the late question, just joined. Would you trade Sarabia for Mitoma right now? Sorry, would you trade in Sarabia, giving away Mitoma?
No.
This will sound familiar because I asked your advice on this earlier today or yesterday, because I got the same trade.
I can see the appeal, definitely.
Yeah.
The temptation is huge. Sarabia has been lights out, but the looming return of Neto will realign the Wolves' attacking output, and I need to see where Sarabia fits in, both essentially on the pitch and fantasy points wise, before considering him as a top 50 asset.
Now's a good time to sell high on Sarabia, if anything. Like, if you own Sarabia, I think get some value for him.
That's a good
Would
point.
you trade him out to get Mitoma, who's out for 5-6 weeks?
I mean, not Mitoma, but I think you can definitely get someone that is maybe not performing well. Like, if you went Sarabia and Fab to get like a Martinelli, because I know we were chatting a bit about him in our WhatsApp or whatever, but stuff like that. Because if Martinelli, if Mitoma is going for the Sarabia pick, like, I would have assumed Mitoma and Martinelli was drafted in a similar round.
Yeah, around 2-3.
Or maybe even get one of the Liverpool forwards as well. I don't know, while Salah's going for a bit. Who knows?
I don't think you can get Liverpool forwards for Sarabia. Maybe you can get Gakpo.
You couldn't get
maybe
Martinelli
Gakpo.
either.
Yeah.
Gakpo looked like really, really good in the last game as well. So
yeah.
He has games where he'll do that. Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, try to shop Sarabia.
All right, fair enough.
No.
Okay. I am choppy. Here we go. Okay. Morning, guys. I was offered this trade and could use your opinions. I've been offered Watkins, Joe Linton, and Mudryk for Gibbs White, Kulusevski, and Gusto.
What?
That's a
GW.
weird one.
He says, real quick, for context, my forwards during AFCON are Doku, Hoyland, and Adebayo. The mids are currently Bowen, Gibbs White, Kulusevski, Doucouré, Sarabia,
Jesus.
Cook, Ramsey. So, once again, Watkins, Joelinton, and Mudryk in.
No. Yes.
That's like Watkins and Jolinton for Morgan Gibbs White and Kulu, right? Because Moody's like a streamer.
Mudryk's a streamer. Gusto's a streamer.
Yeah.
Watkins is the best player in this trade.
Yeah, Watkins better than MGW, but Kulu better than Joelinton.
I'd cut the fat and just do MGW or Kulu plus Gusto for Watkins.
Here's a question, though, guys. Is Kulu better than MGW going forward?
Very close.
Yeah, that's true.
So those are two pretty premium mids to be giving up. He said his mids are Bowen, MGW, Kulu, Doucouré, Sarabia. That's a great midfield, man. Nice job.
He can afford to get rid of one of them for a forward, and so
what Ryan
I think
said
makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah, to cut the fat.
Honestly, don't bring in Joelinton. I've had him. He's so frustrating. It's not worth it. Don't do it.
Counter MGW or Kulusevski plus Gusto straight up for Watkins.
Boom. I like that.
Get your week in, week out striker plus an extra roster spot for streaming.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, MGW and Kulu is really close.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Kulu's been lighting it up.
Yeah. I mean, I lean Kulu, but
but that Kulu value is not going to stay same though rest of season, surely.
Don't think so?
I mean, he loses value not playing in the 10, but then he gains value playing next to Madison when he's back.
Yeah, but we would have thought that, but he wasn't scoring at all.
He wasn't doing well at the beginning of the season. That's fair.
I think Brendan drops out.
And?
Well, just once everyone's back, I think Brendan drops out. And
I think Kulu plays, but
just the value.
Yeah.
Kulu retakes that spot on the right wing. Was my thought, but hard to say. Yeah. All right. I recognize this guy, George on Discord. George
Cubed, yeah.
Is his Discord name. Was chatting in Discord. Thoughts on Ramsey going forward?
He's the same Ramsey. Like, he can get you a brace. He can also get you 0.5.
Yeah.
I think, he just got to ride it out.
He's a mid 3?
Can be.
4.
Would you rather Ramsey or Brownhill rest of season?
Ramsey, obviously.
Sanji?
Brownhill ghosts much, much, much better. So
yeah.
So I think I'd probably go Brownhill, but it's close.
0 upside.
More minutes for Brownie.
The war is Ramsey all day.
The war would say Ramsey. Yeah. All right. Nice. Draft Espresso. Is it worth relying on mostly a streamer defense if it means you can solidify your mids and forwards?
The question of our time.
I mean, that really is.
I mean,
so
usually streaming defense is a good way.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like 2 or 3 spots and keeping one premium defender and then streaming the rest. But this season has been pants for streaming defenders, and we talk about it somewhat regularly that streaming defender value has fallen off in recent seasons as well. So I don't think like it should be dismissed as streaming defenders is a good idea. So I wouldn't give up my premium defenders to get better at midfield and forward. I would give up my mid-level defenders to get better at midfield. Not at forward, but at midfield, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of depends on how the season's gone for you and what your draft day strategy was. Before it became obvious that it was going to be supremely difficult to stream defenders this season, I still went with you can wait forever in the draft to get a defender, no big deal. So I find myself streaming defenders every single week, and there are weeks where it works out, and there are weeks where it definitely does not.
Yeah.
Like I had Kwanzaa this week, which could have gone one of two ways, either quite well or horribly.
And it went quite well. 18 points.
It went quite well.
Very well.
Yeah.
That said, we've had 3 clean sheets this week and 2 the week before.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So that sort of undermines the little streaming value that you've had.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I'd rather a premium defender and a weaker midfield and forward than giving up my premium defenders for mids and forwards. Like I have Estepinian and TAA and Gomez and Tarkowski in a league, and I'm flying with that defense. Like,
of course,
that's a ghost defense if you've ever seen one.
Defense is so weird this year. Like when you say premium defenders, right? I mean, I'll read you the top 5: Trippier, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Porro, Tarkowski. After that,
after that, it's some rando, isn't it?
It's Joachim Anderson.
Yeah.
It's Ethan Pinnock, who was terrible this week and actually has been recently. Not great.
He was great.
Well, I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, he still put up positive points in a 4-1 loss, which I guess, that checks out.
I mean, analytically, he was good.
Yeah,
For your team,
he was not
a defender facing Wolves getting 1 point.
Not great.
Do you want to offset ghost points or do you want total points? I'd much rather the former. Makes me feel better.
I'd much rather points, to be fair.
So then we've got Sanji's boy Digne. We've got Robinson, Sioux Fall, Ben White, Diogo. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm gonna go with stream defenders. Because just looking at that leaderboard, who the hell knows?
If you don't have any of the
top 5,
7, maybe with Pinnock and
Digne excluding Anderson.
Yeah, if you don't have that top 7, then you're better off streaming. So if you can trade out Soufal or Robinson and the likes, then by all means get a better mid. If you have the top scoring defenders, then I'd rather them.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about a question that Omar has for us. He's reminding everybody, first of all, to hit the thumbs up button on the video, which we should say a lot more. But definitely hit the thumbs up button on the video. That would help us out a lot. We appreciate everybody who is here with us, and we've had some decent numbers today, so that was amazing.
Have we ever said like and subscribe?
No. Shouldn't we say smash a like? Isn't that?
Oh God,
yeah.
I refuse to say that.
I just watched that South Park episode about influencers and Prime. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh man, their social commentary is some of the absolute best. They're just
I'm downloading the new seasons for the flight to Vietnam.
Oh good. As you should. Absolutely.
So good.
All right, so Omar, his real question is this, but my infamous 10-team non-ghost. Is it time to drop Adingra or Doku?
It's time to drop that league.
Yes.
And yes.
Yeah.
So when he says that,
space for time.
Yeah, if anyone's confused when he says that, I think what he means is that the league doesn't. Yeah, it's FPL scoring. The league doesn't award points for things like successful dribbles or things like shots on target. It's just going to be attacking returns, clean sheets, those kind of things.
Yeah, they're both injured. They both are more ghosts than returns. So yeah, I would drop them both.
I might hold Doku.
Yeah, I'd hold Doku. Plays with a good team. You can always nick a attack and return from somewhere.
Well, that's fair. I'd definitely drop a Dingra.
Yeah.
I'd probably drop a Dingra in a ghost point 10 team league as well.
Yeah. And he said nobody trades in his league, so it's either drop or keep. So all right. Last one, and then we'll move on to streamers. Thanks for everyone who submitted some questions last minute here. This was awesome. This is the reason why it's awesome to have chat. You guys are incredible. Okay, Tom Husband. Real question. What the fuck are you doing with Diaby? You know what's so funny? There was a period of time in this season when I was sending out trades I thought Diaby was gonna just go nuts the rest of the season, and I was sending out trades. I was trying to. Oh yeah, I was trying to get him in for, guys like McNeil, guys like sending out anybody I could to try to get him in, and I'm so glad that those owners declined.
I think you got to hold. He's got the potential. Just going through a rough patch. I think there's nothing else you can do but hold, because you get pennies on the dollar for him, and he still has the.
Tom's in my league. That's right. I forgot about that. He said
make you an offer.
Yeah. Not anymore, Tom. I'm sorry.
What you do with Diaby is sell him to Joe for next to nothing. Next to nothing.
Exactly. Next to nothing. I clearly still believe, but I don't know. At this point, it is next to nothing. I mean, you're not going to get a whole lot. So either you're holding, or you're selling at an all-time low, or you're dropping. Omar says he has Diaby too. Sorry, man.
Motley Crew. Tom has somebody had a question about Dan Byrne. Oh, yeah. Pubs with Ab.
Pubs with Ab.
Oh, I didn't see that. What did he ask?
Thoughts on Byrne, worth holding? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a terrible schedule.
I dropped Livramento.
I did too.
Yeah, me too. I think I'd drop. You're not going to start him. You're not going to feel comfortable starting him in the next 3. Nah.
Yeah. Someone dropped Char, and I was contemplating.
I dropped Char
paying to get him
a month ago,
and then I saw that upcoming schedule, and
he's also been trash.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Even the schedule after that, because in the question, Pubs with Ab mentions Liverpool away, Man City, Villa away. Well, then you have Luton. Yes, it's at home. It's at St. James, sure. But then you have Forest away, which we know is a difficult matchup. And then you have Bournemouth, the informed team. And then you have at Arsenal. Yeah, I think I'm dropping.
Trying to pick back up for Luton, but that's...
Yeah, try to get him for... Yeah, there you go. I mean, he's a streamer. That's probably right.
Essentially, yeah.
All the Newcastle defenders, bar Trippier, obviously, are streamers.
All right, real quick before we go on to our streamers, Draft Pie actually commented on our Twitter post for this stream, and he said, just one question for the pod. New Year's Eve is soon. Which manager would you most want to have a night out with, and which manager the least? You can't chicken out of the second question, and please ignore club loyalties.
What's a tough
Gary O'Neill for me.
Gary
like a fucking lad.
lads.
Yeah, he'd be a good time for sure.
That's a good shout. Actually,
it's a really good one.
Very good shout. I think Eddie Howe as well.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be annoying though.
Annoying?
Yeah. like a know-it-all. He'd be like, yeah,
Like he's got a stick up
tell
his
you
ass.
shit. Yeah.
All right.
Same
That's
with like
fair.
Iraola.
It's Thomas Frank for me.
Iraola.
It's not close.
Thomas Frank.
It's Thomas Frank for me. It's not close.
Yeah, he'd be fun.
He'd be fun, but he'd be more of a like drink at the table until you fall over type of and talk fun, not like going out and to a rave.
True.
But Daichi.
No,
man.
people in chat are saying Dice. That guy's gonna fight somebody.
Too much of a lad. Yeah.
Exactly why you should hang out with Daesh.
Exactly, I definitely want Daesh, to be honest.
You are getting into a fight if you're with Sean Dyche. There's not even a question.
I thought that was the plan, though.
All right, so
and who are we not?
Ignore your club loyalties and ignore if
man.
you just because you hate a club, don't hate on the manager. We're talking specifically like manager personalities. Who would you least want to go out with?
Probably Roy,
Arteta
because
Roy.
Well, Roy's probably not going to be able to stay up until midnight.
Roy would fall asleep on the coats. He would be the one who guards the coats.
And David Moyes would tell you to go to bed, so not him either.
No,
Moyes would be the worst.
I think these Pep, Guardiola, and Arteta types wouldn't be fun.
Oh, yeah. Or Eric Ten Hag.
Ooh, Eric Ten Hag. And Unai Emery would be boring as shit.
Yeah,
he's too polite.
Yeah, he would be like, ooh.
These are all guys. Yeah, that's a great impression. These are all guys that just have like analytics running through their head 24/7, right? So it's like they don't know how to like be a human being with another person.
That was my thought with Eddie Howe. He would definitely bring Tyndall, and that would be fun.
He would bring Tyndall. That's true. That's true. It's like Tommy DeVito and his agent. That's amazing. Oh man, yeah.
Good question.
Roy is more of a croquet buddy. Says Draft Espresso.
Pickleball.
Maybe early drinks, like pre-lunch drinks.
Day drinks, yeah. Lunch martinis with
for
Roy.
it.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Absolutely.
I mean, just
it's like that. Ryan, it's like that bar that we went to in DC that's like in a library. That'd be the perfect place to take Roy.
Yeah. 100%.
I'd go have some Pims with him.
Ooh.
On the
nice Pims cup
on the lawn. And,
sure.
Just talk shit in the morning, then just have a big lunch and go to sleep. That would be the day.
That sounds really nice, actually.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
That's
so
great.
Roy wins it.
Roy, yeah. Well, Roy, if you're not going to stay up.
Yeah.
Roy, if you're not going to stay up, and then otherwise.
Wilder would be good too.
Wilder, an all-day session. Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, Rob Edwards.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't feel like I don't know enough about him.
Wouldn't be able to score with Rob Edwards there. That's also something to consider.
I originally thought the question was which of us like managers would we pick to go out with.
Oh,
I earmarked Genie for that. He's young. He would show some exuberance. I wouldn't probably need that at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely Genie.
Does he exist in real life, though, is the question.
That's fair.
None of us have ever...
We'll find out in a month.
I've seen all of you.
I don't see that happening, but I hope you do, honestly. I'm
going to try.
I've seen all of you in person except for Sanji,
tried.
and I know that you guys have seen Sanji in person.
Yeah. Seen everybody but Genie.
None of us have ever actually seen Genie in person.
No, that's true.
Is he AI?
It's a very early. It's a very early.
Well, that's why he has so many he has so many opinions that are non-conformist, because it's like an early guy before it got calibrated.
Yeah. Type in off the beaten path draft picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spews at Giles.
It's like if MySpace invented an AI. That's Genie. Let's close her down. Do some Gameweek 20 streamers and get people out of here. Okay. So let's talk streamers. We're talking 1 week plays, or potentially, 1 to 2 weeks usually. Plays with high upside. On your screen, if you want to head over to YouTube or turn your phone sideways if you're on Spotify, you will see the defender and mid and forward fixture difficulty rankings for this week. These come from our fantasy toolkit. So if that's something that you think is cool, check that out. The number in parentheses that you see next to the teams that are being played against. So for example, Manchester City plays Sheffield United. And in the defender category, you see in parentheses 10.5. That is the number of fantasy points that defenders on average score against Sheffield United. So, and of course, that is taking into account home and away fixtures as well. So, so that's something to check out. If that's something that you think would be interesting or cool or helpful to you, go check out the fantasy toolkit. But on the screen, you can see it now if you turn it sideways. But
you can do that for the low price of $30
using DraftMiss23 promo code. All right, Sanji, you're up first this week. Hit us with your streamers.
All forwards.
Yeah, all forwards. It seemed the easiest ones to kind of pick from, and it's some of the players that I'll be discussing in my waiver article.
Nice.
Should drop tonight or tomorrow. But Chris Wood, talk about new manager bounce, man. So it's the first time I think all season Chris Wood has played back-to-back 90-minute games. 4 goals and an assist. He's not
70 points or something like that in 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I mean, he's not really that well known for ghosting, but if he's getting a chance and eye test wise, he seems to have a good link up with Ilanga as well. Against a United team that were down 2-0 at first, even though they won that match 3-2, I do think that Forest can capitalize on a poor United defense and should be able to get a goal or 2 or maybe even win that game. So I do like the likes of Chris Wood. And who knows, he could be on pens. We don't know what Nuno's going to do with Gibbs White, etc. So next up, I've got that guy Welbs. I know we were all talking about the Brighton fixture run as well. It's pretty nice. I'm not sure. I'm not confident he's gonna play 90 minutes, but if he's gonna get the starts, and especially with Brighton missing all these injured players and stuff like that, if you do think they can maintain their attacking quality up front, then I like the likes of Danny Welbeck. Then up next, I talked about a player that wasn't even on my list. Sorry about that. I was looking at a completely different list here. Dango is the player I should have been talking about. So Dango chained. And I didn't think that he would have thrived in playing in a left back position. But he's been ghosting well. I think he completed 90 minutes in the match versus Fulham as well. Got a couple of shots, which was kind of impressive. And I think they're away to Spurs, and a Spurs team that have no fit centre back. So you'd think Bournemouth, the team in form, like you mentioned, Joe, should be able to get an attacking return there. So I think he will continue to get the start while Kirkes is out. Do you know how long Kirkes is out for, by the way, Totti?
He should be only back after the January break. So 2 or 3 more game weeks at least.
Dango's going to AFCON, though.
Who, Dango?
Yeah.
Well, he should play this game week, though. So for this game week, at least, I think it's a safe pick. Next up, we got Elijah Adebayo. I mean, Luton strikers are probably not enticing, but even though he scored 12 and 14 in the games that he got the goals, the ones after that versus Newcastle and Sheffield, he ghosted quite well, 9 to 10 points in each of the games. So I mean, if you're looking for like a forward 3, forward 4 sort of play, then he could be your man. And at home, it's always a good fixture up against a very unpredictably shit Chelsea team at the moment. So he could continue scoring well this game.
Yeah, he's been good.
Yeah. And then finally, Odebear. I mean, eye test wise, this kid looks amazing. And I think after they lost Kolyosha to injury, it kind of gave Odebear an opportunity to get consistent starts. And yeah, he's coasting really, really well. I think 10 points in the game versus Liverpool as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I know Aston Villa are very strong at home, but again, a little suspect defensively, so I think you could get some joy there at least. So yeah, those are my picks.
And he's Odo Bear, at least he's ghosting against decent teams. So yeah, I mean that could be a good shout. I like that one. All right, Ryan, you're up second.
Yeah, this was prior to Buonanotte getting his injury.
Oh damn.
Obviously. So yeah, he's a TBD. But yeah, should be getting starts the next few at least with all of those injuries, and he was unlucky not to get a goal today. But so yeah, he can be pretty hit or miss, but if you need a little bit of upside, he might be your man. Scott came back into the Bournemouth side and yeah, had a nice little dribble, then assist. I think he dropped like 15.5. So was taking set pieces. He's not only a streamer, he's a probably midterm hold for me in that Bournemouth midfield. So I'd be surprised if he didn't start, even though it's a quick turnaround and he's just coming back from injury. So that's the only thing to kind of be wary about with him. But yeah, he looks the part. Bellegarde versus Everton. If I know that my drinking buddy O'Neill said that that Hwang his back spasm was temporary, but if it's not, then and with the quick turnaround, Bellegarde might get a shout. He looked good when he came on. Obviously, got his goal. So he's somebody I'm looking out for versus Everton. The corollary to that is Damsgaard versus Palace. Before the break, he had that, or before their blank, he had that like 12.5 point ghost point outing, but then hasn't started the last two. So yeah, with all of the fixture churn, he might get a shout versus Palace. If Jensen is back, then yeah, I wouldn't go for it because yeah, he wouldn't have any shot at sets, and I think he would be cannibalizing his points. So yeah, Tom, be wary about that. And then yeah, hate to say it, but Gvardiol versus Sheffield. Obviously, Sheffield at home. If City were ever going to keep a clean sheet, it would be this.
I was amazed to see you put this on there.
Yeah, Gvardiol's the only one that really ghosts. He got, I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but he still got 6 with a goal conceded versus Everton. So it's pretty good for City defenders, plus the matchup. So yeah, that's my pick. He gets forward a little bit too on the left back side. So, and they'll need him to break down that low block.
Didn't he come on as a sub as well? So there was 6 in less than full time, wasn't it?
I thought he started, but
no, he came on at halftime.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, but the Stones injury?
Stones, yeah,
exactly. So yeah, those are my picks.
Nice. All right, Toddy.
I have Nico Williams, who sat out the demolition of Newcastle, but
yeah, it was unfortunate.
Yeah, but should be back in the lineup against United, hopefully. Noni Madueke got that rare win that Sanji mentioned, and got a very nice compliment from Pochettino at the end of the game, saying he really, really stepped up and really put his heart forward to get in the game and make it his. So I hope that he gets a start against Luton. Justin Kluivert.
Thank you.
For the same reasons as the above stated Bournemouth guys against CB less Spurs, I expect Bournemouth to score and score probably, hopefully, multiple goals. So Kluivert has been there and thereabouts with the scoring, and I think he had some sort of look in on sets as well, or he did have it at the beginning of the season. Not sure with Scott in the lineup he gets sets or not, but he's definitely worth picking up. And Edouard still not back. Brentford, Nathan Collins could hand Palace a few goals as well. So Mateta, who's been ghosting Wells, could provide good value if you haven't decided on the 8 forwards that we have suggested for this.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, I got to apologize for all the shit that we give Toddy for not looking at other people's streamers before you put them on your list. I went and put Scott on mine as well. Because I'll be honest, at the time I was like, there's no way anybody else has this on their list.
For shame.
Yeah. So I'll have to
streamed him, or even Gavin did as well, didn't he?
Yeah, we were on the Scott train.
Damn. I'll have to sub in somebody else for that. But Ayat Nouri, you got to just give a shout out to Ayat Nouri. He's been fantastic recently. He's been ghosting. He's been all right. Everton, man, it's tough. Do you want to stream a defender against Everton now? Who knows?
A defender who you're gonna drop because he's leaving for AFCON as well.
Sure. So who knows? But if you're, and granted, I got into this document last, so I did check most of them. I just some reason did not check Scott. But yeah, if you're hemmed up, Ayat Nouri, I think you could do worse than starting him against Everton. Same with Lamina. Lamina's been pretty decent in terms of just like a baseline of points. I think he's one that could pop up with a random attacking return here or there.
No, not even random. He has 2 attacking returns in the last 2 games.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
and then he falls off a cliff.
Right.
An expected attacking return.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, he's been fantastic. It's he's scoring goals, but it's not like he's getting 11 with a goal. 16 and a half and 20 and a half in the last 2 weeks against teams that are no pushovers in Brentford and Chelsea. So yeah, I mean, I think you could do worse than starting Lamina against Everton, 33% rostered. So he's okay. And then I guess I will sub in instead of Scott, Mr. Toilet Paper Man himself. I will sub in. Why not? Let's go with Hudson-Odoi. Why not? Let's go with Hudson-Odoi.
I was looking at him as well.
Yeah, had a decent run out this week.
What's his roster hood?
Roster hood is 10%. And he plays United. And to say that they're leaky at the back, I think is an understatement. So I think you could probably stream him.
They're long. They're long at the back.
They're long at the back. He had 6 points this week away at Newcastle. And yeah, again, this is I was the last one to get in the document, so check out the other ones first. But all right,
listen to the other guys.
Listen to the other guys first, but then you can listen to me if you want to. Okay, this has been a good one, guys. Yeah,
we're not
best of luck to everybody. Go ahead, Toddy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we're not gonna pod until the new year. So
yeah,
Happy New Year.
Wow.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
It's just so we don't end up short and not go the full 2 hours. The
This was a quick one, a short one.
This was a quick one.
Yeah, when we didn't want to. The all the forward picks just make me think like I don't remember a season so like streaming forward heavy. Those forwards are always usually the odd man out, and they're so hard to get and to stream. And now it's just like they're everywhere, so everybody's rocking a 3 forward line.
Yeah.
So it's a weird dynamic.
Does that play into a bit about your consideration on holding forwards or dropping them earlier than you would? Like, I'll circle back to Adingra.
I was going to say Adingra, actually. Yeah,
I've been holding Willian too, and I'm just like, I could be streaming this spot easily.
I dropped Willian.
Yeah,
with the same sort of thought process. I was looking at all these forwards, and I had Odegaard, and I had Wood, and I had what's his face, Elanga on one of my benches, and I was like, and I'm holding Willian, who like scores 20 every 5 games or something like that.
So, I love that though.
Yeah, that's
I love the
that
20
is gold. That 20 is gold. But when Odegaard gets you 10 almost every week, then you just can't afford to hold Willian.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I think it does have to play into that for sure. And I think it plays into gambling on picking up somebody like an Enciso and holding. Because why would you?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Interesting. Well, if you have further thoughts or ideas or questions, feel free to hit us up on Twitter, and we'll try to get to you before the game week's kickoff. Otherwise, you can always sign up and send us confidential emails if you want to be a part of the inner circle, because we will see those definitely, even though we may not see Twitter as often these days. Because, with it changing to X, I'm just kidding. I don't really care that much, but yeah. I don't log into Twitter as much these days. I don't know what it is, but anyway. All right, listeners, you guys are fantastic. Everybody who was in chat live, you guys are amazing. Thanks so much for the well wishes and the wishes for a happy new year. Tom, happy new year. Draft Espresso, happy new year. Pubs with Ab, who I just found out is actually Draft Pie as well. Happy new year. Everybody, you guys are the best. Thank you all so much. Listeners on the podcast version, consider joining us on the live feed. It's a good time. Good luck to everybody this game week. We'll talk to everyone soon. Cheers.